Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alpha Name. We're going to begin here with very important news. This is news I think people need to be talking about as we're going deeper and deeper into probably a massive deflationary period. I don't know how they counteract that. I personally believe they're going to have to turn that money printer back on, which is going to affect everything. But nonetheless, these negatives we're going to have to see and deal with in the foreseeable future, in my humble opinion. We have another article about what I've been talking about for about a year and a half now, that M2 money supply, which has been going down, which has been contracting, which indicates what? When's the last time that happened? I said this before. Last time it happened is only in depressions. Only in depressions. A lot of people are not going to hear it. They're not hearing what I'm saying. Why is all the big money? Don't get me wrong. They play a little bit, but why is all the big money protecting their value, buying massive amounts of gold, storing their capital in protective assets, massive amounts of capital they're protecting in protective assets? What are they doing this for at this particular time? All at the same time in the last year or so. What are they protecting themselves from? People got to ask themselves that. See, the big money people, they start taking precautionary measures first. They start taking actions first, just like when you see bank runs. They sell off all their stocks and everything first. Then the retail gets in at the last second and it's a mad scramble. But if one has eyes to see, they can see what's coming, right? Look, let me read this little tidbit to you. This is from Fool.com. Then we'll get into some XRP news. We have some Algorand news, Solana. We got a lot of stuff today. We cover a lot of things here. Gold news. Okay, we'll get into that. We got chapters. You could jump around if you want to, but I think this is very, very important for the people who, if this does come to pass, if we have to go through another depression, you're going to need to survive. That means you're going to need to know to protect your money. You can't protect something if you don't know that it needs to be protected. Right? I think a lot of people right now just talking about spending money. Where you can put money here, put money here. There's a gym here. There's another gym here. It's like you're playing with all this capital. It's like, are you protecting any? Are you saving any? Right? I don't like to operate with a youthful mind state where we're just spending capital. No, we like to make capital. And I always have said I like to conserve capital. Right? It's not about spending it. Yes, sure. Let's have our money make money. But how do we protect that? How do we conserve that? We have to know things like this. Just one of many different variables to keep in mind. So it says here, for the first time in 90 years, the first time, U.S. money supply is meaningfully contracting. I've been talking about this for a long time. Although there are 5 measures of U.S. money supply, M1 and M2 are the 2 that garner most of the attention. Now, wait, did you see the articles that came out where now they're finally acknowledging what I've been saying for so long, that there is a global financial problem? And I believe that there were members of the Fed who acknowledged this recently. A global financial problem. There has not been a remedy. So this is why so many people believe that there is global depression coming. 1, or they believe there's a global financial collapse coming. 2, and I say that none of those things are out of the realm of possibilities, especially if you see what's going on now. I got a members only video I'm working on too, that we're going to cover some very important stuff over there. All right. So, because we have to know both sides. So you can't just be in the negative. You can't just be in the positive. We need to know both sides and stay balanced with the information. All right. And I believe people can make the best decisions possible with a balanced amount of information. But let's keep going. It says M1 consists of cash and coins in circulation, as well as demand deposits in a checking account. It's money you have easy access to and can spend at a moment's notice. Meanwhile, M2 consists of everything in M1 and adds in savings accounts. That's key. Money market accounts and certificates of deposit below $100,000. This is money you can still get to, but more work is required before it is spent. It's the latter category, M2, that's sounding warning bells, one reputable company after another, one top economist after another, telling the people, I've been telling them as well, are they going to prepare themselves for what might be coming? Hey, that they do or not, I'm just putting it out there. That's how I feel. I'm just putting it out there. You people do what they want to do. It says M2 is a monthly reported data point that's unlikely to be on the radar for most investors. Then you wonder why. One of the biggest reasons, one of the biggest unknown variables as to why gold is so high right now. And they've been buying record amounts. A lot of people have been buying record amounts of gold, especially central banks. What are they protecting themselves from? Gold is primarily a protective asset. Let's keep going. It says that's because M2 has, with very few exceptions, steadily increased over time. A growing economy requires extra capital to facilitate, keep that in mind, to facilitate transactions. So seeing M2 expand from nearly $287 billion in January 1959 to $20.73 trillion as of October 2023 is no surprise. Let's scroll down here. What is shocking is when meaningful year-over-year declines in M2 money supply are observed. Since peaking in July 2022, M2 has fallen by an aggregate of 4.51% as shown above. Using a 2% year-over-year decline as somewhat an arbitrary line in the sand, there have only been 5 instances since 1870. We've heard this before, but we're going to read it again because I think people really need to hear this and get this clear of what is factually occurring right now, right? Since 1870, where M2 money supply has declined by at least 2%, 1878, 1893, 1921, 1931 to 1933, and over the past year and change. That's right. The current drop in M2 is the first notable decline since the Great Depression. So now you're hearing it from the motley fool. And so you don't have to wonder why when I say we're going through a light version of a depression, we're just in the beginning stages. We'll see how all this plays out over time, but putting that on your table right there. Let's move on to a little bit more news here. All right. It's all about, in my humble opinion, it's not about fear. People misinterpret that. It's about preparation, being prepared. I like to see it when it's coming. It's just like fighting. I'm looking at your shoulders. I want to see where your punches are coming from. I'm not closing my eyes. I'm experienced at this. I want to see it when it's coming. I'll weave, bob, whatever I got to do, get some good motion going. I'm going to move out of the way of your punch. I'm going to roll with your punch. That's like life. I'm going to be prepared. I want to see it when it's coming. There's no coward in me. It's not about fear. It's about preparation. And those who prepare stand the greatest possibility of both profiting from what is to come and also surviving what is to come. Because I think it's going to be a little bit rougher than people anticipate, but I could be wrong. Now, this article here is from the cryptobasic.com. Shout outs to everybody who shows me any type of love out there. I appreciate every single one of you. This article is titled Crypto Educator says XRP hitting $50 is not fantasy, but a fact. All right. Let's see what they have to say. It says crypto educator Jason, renowned for his insightful market analysis, has boldly asserted that XRP trading at a $50 value is inevitable. Let's scroll down here. It says, quote, here's the quote, XRP hitting $50 is not fantasy, but a fact, unquote, he proclaimed. Jason went on to elucidate why he believes XRP is currently undervalued. It is, and poised for a significant upswing soon. When is soon? Who knows? But I do believe it's poised for a significant upswing at some point in the future. If everything can be actuated, we can get past these little hurdles. Yes. Let's scroll down here. It says use case and demand. Jason's first argument was that XRP transcends being merely a cryptocurrency. Facts. That's very true. He argued it operates as a global network facilitating the internet of value. If people saw that last video that I did, it was pretty good, actually. And there was a chapter in there about 500 organizations that are lined up to use XRP. Obviously, you can look at the transaction volume. Obviously, they're not using it to its full capacity. You can see it in the data. What happens when they do? And then do you really believe that 500 is all they have? That's just how many they can talk about. That's it. So if they went from 200 organizations ready to use XRP, to 300, to 500. And this is coming from a representative from Ripple. That's what the article says. You go look it up yourself, go to that video, and you'll see the article there. But if they went up from 200 to 500, what's to make anyone believe they don't have 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, or that can't be possible? Of course it's possible. They're an expanding company that's hungry to utilize the absolute best of their technology, which is XRP. Let's keep going here. It says, furthermore, the educator highlighted that XRP is at the forefront of global transactions with a client base of prominent banks, payment providers, and major corporations. Moreover, he stated that XRP's compliance with regulatory framework in key jurisdictions, including Japan, who is hurting financially. They're having a bad time in the Japan financial ecosystem. Just go look it up yourself. They need XRP. It says, and Singapore, it says, positions it as a trusted player, something that I've been trying to iterate over time, that we have the connections. It says, additionally, he cited data arguing XRP's projected market size. Oh, I haven't heard this. There's some sort of data, I guess, say XRP's projected market size of $27 trillion. Wow. Potentially surpassing the valuation of Ethereum, estimated at $12 trillion. Now, before anyone says anything, you have to know, I'm bullish on XRP, XLM, because I know somebody's going to come in and say, XLM is moving more than XRP. And it's like, I'm bullish on both. I have big bags of both. All right. I saw great gains on both in the last bull run. I'm expecting more gains from them in the next bull run. Super bullish on both of them for the future. I understand their use cases. But right now we're talking about XRP because they're the ones that have the articles out to cover. They have the data for me to sift through, right? So let's move on here. And they both have their part to play. I don't think many know that better than I do. Right? Some know it equally. I don't think, but I know it very well is what I'm trying to say. It says, it is worth noting that the widely touted XRP 3,400 transactions per second is a theoretical benchmark achievable only in a controlled laboratory setting with the ideal. Who cares? That's just some negativity to throw in there for nothing. Like, listen, there's other chains that are inferior that can do way more transactions per second. Why wouldn't XRP be able to upgrade? They can upgrade at any time that they want. They're not, they can also be working on innovations and not let you know until they're ready to let you know about that innovation. I'm not worried about transactions per second, especially given what XRP is supposed to do. All they have to do is be able to securely read the documents. What the banks are worried about right now is security. At no point in these recent documents are they saying, hey, we're worried about transactions per second. That's something retail worries about. Retail is worried about everything. Retail is worried about their own shadow. That's retail arguments, so they can debate back and forth all day. The banks are not, they don't care about that. They're like, wait, who has security? Who can provide us with control? Who can provide us with privacy? We need a private ecosystem. That's it. That's what they're worried about, right? So now, moving on here. So in particular, experts have argued that XRP falls short of, I see it like that. More arguments, experts argue. Yeah, I'm not going to wrap myself up in it. I don't have time for arguments and all that type of stuff. I like to appreciate every single day to the max. I'm not going to waste my day arguing and all that kind of nonsense. And then the next day you don't wake up. Like, that's like, yeah, I keep that in mind. Memento mori. Memento mori. It's an old ancient saying that means remember death, right? So I don't have time for that nonsense. I don't care what people are arguing about. Let's move on here. It says, meanwhile, you gotta fill your, like, you don't have to do anything, but isn't it better to spend your days being pleasant, filling your life with goodness? Why would I want to fill my life with stress and such? Like, so I don't. It says, meanwhile, the crypto educator mentioned that XRP leads in environmental consciousness. That's somebody else's, that's for other people to worry about. I'm here to make money off of XRP. Anything else is just bonus if other people are interested in that. Additionally, Jason highlighted that XRP extends its influence beyond financial realms. All right, let's stop there. Let's move on here to another article. So this article here is titled, Why XRP Not Added to Ripple Liquidity Hub After 5 Months. Ripple CTO reacts. I guarantee you somebody called him out on this, you know. He never gets the rest. They're going to You know, that's one of the things about social media, that people are going to reach out to you. They don't care what you're going through. They don't know what you're going through. They're going to reach out to you and ask you these questions and such. It's like he's been asked this so many times. I think that clarity has been brought to this before, but let's read it again. It says, prominent XRP community figure Yassin Mubarak has renewed conversations about XRP's exclusion from one of Ripple's products to institutions. Like, once again, we've heard this before. Let's see if this is going to be interesting or not. Let's see if they can uncover something new, I suppose. In a recent tweet, Yassin Mubarak, the founder of Deezer Capital, raised a pressing question to David Schwartz, Ripple's CTO, Chief Technical Officer. Mubarak asked Schwartz to shed light on why XRP has yet to be incorporated into Ripple's liquidity hub product, even after landmark legal decision that is now 5 months old. And it's like they put out multiple documents explaining this. Let's see if David Schwartz iterates the same thing that the documents have iterated. It says, recall, oh no, we know about that. We got the judgment from the Honorable Judge Annalisa Torres. It says, notably, the XRP army expected the legal victory to pave way for XRP's inclusion in various platforms, including Ripple's liquidity hub. It doesn't matter what the XRP army wanted. It only matters what reality is. Why don't people understand that? It's about reality. It's not about what people want. It's about what's necessary. It is. It's like sometimes I think people get so wrapped up in what they want. I want it now. I want it now. It's like it doesn't matter what the child slamming their fist on a table says that they want. The parent still has to give them a nutritious meal. The child slamming his fist on the table wants to eat a Rice Krispie treat, a Twix candy bar. That doesn't mean that they get it. It doesn't mean it's time for that. There's a time and place for everything. Yet he refrained from publicly explaining Ripple's decision to exclude XRP from the liquidity hub. He remarked, unfortunately, quote, unfortunately, no. Look at what happened the last time I did exactly this around our ODL strategy. Exactly. So he doesn't want to even say anything anymore because it causes too much trouble. People take his words and they're going to stretch it out. They're going to, misinterpret it. They're going to misuse it. And it could cause a lot of trouble for a lot of people. So he's just like, I don't even want to speak on it anymore. So other XRP community members weighed in on the conversation, speculating reasons behind XRP's exclusion from Ripple's hub. And XRP enthusiasts with X username Baron remarked, quote, the lawsuit has not fully concluded and regulations still haven't been established in the U.S. as well as many other regions. Patience wins the race. Exactly. Well put, Baron, unquote. Well put. Well put. Listen, I'm going to give you this because we covered this a while back in the members only section. There was a document that came out. It was from someone in Ripple, right? Directly from the horse's mouth. And they said literally that the big businesses, the big banks wanted absolute clarity. Absolute. Like there could be no lawsuit. There could be nothing left court-wise, legally, as far as the battle with the SEC before they would use XRP. That's what they said. They made it very, very clear. Members only people should know that. Now you do. Now you do. Now, whether they honor their side of the deal once everything is over, who knows? Who knows? Who can really hold these people responsible, right? I mean, nobody really does anything to move them. But that's what they said. As long as there is a legal battle going on, they will not be using the XRPL or XRP to the capacity that it could be used. There you have it. That's it. And all it took was just reading some documents. That's it. So documents, articles, whatever, wherever the information is, reading is fundamental. Reading is fun to mental. Yeah, I got that from Eddie Griffin. Why not? So we have this article here and it's about Algorand and it's titled Blockchain Protocol Algorand Forms Strategic Collaborations in India. I had a bunch of Algorand articles, but I didn't put them out in time. I only have enough time for certain things. They've been doing a very good job as of late. They've been making massive moves. This is just one of many. Very happy to see that. I remain super bullish on Algorand. I have not turned my back on Algorand. I haven't turned my back on any of the bank coins. I've stood firm, stood strong through it all. And I think they're going to be very successful in the future. Decentralized network Algorand has partnered with key players in India to deepen India's Web3 foundation. I was recently talking about their connections in India. It says, in a significant move explained by the blockchain platform CEO Stacey Wharton, who I respect greatly for a lot of reasons. Some seen, some unseen. Algorand will partner with Indian tech advocacy group NASSCOM. Says other partners. I respect people who give respect. Let's put that out there. If people give respect, then I have the greatest of respect for them because they didn't have to do that. Right. That's how I look at things. And I'm a very loyal person. So people who show loyalty to me, I show the greatest of loyalty to them. That's how it works. Other partners, that's in general. Other partners include TIE Bangalore, a global entrepreneurship supporting program, and India's first women-centric bank, the Mandeshi Foundation. Bank is what I heard, right? Wharton told CoinDesk in an interview that the collaboration will foster Web3 capabilities under NASSCOM's Future Skills Prime Skilling Hub. The hub is a digital skilling initiative developed in partnership with the IT industry, academia, and government. More governmental ties for Algorand. Further, Algorand will also develop a blockchain-based credit scorecard and identity system for women entrepreneurs of the Mandeshi Foundation. They're doing a lot. The collaboration with the TIE Bangalore will enable Algorand to provide educational initiatives to support the Indian Web3 ecosystem, Wharton added. It says, quote, in just a year, our strategic collaborations and innovative blockchain solutions with key players in India have pioneered financial inclusion with the potential for impacting millions of lives in underserved communities. Listen, Algorand is one of the sleeping giants for sure. At one time, people believed in it. Something happened. A lot of people told me, well, something happened and something shut down. I don't know what it was, because that's never what made me bullish on Algorand, right? So I didn't keep up with that type of thing. And so they said, well, something shut down with Algorand, and so people walked away from it. But they have always done a good job. They've continued to really press on. They are the sleeping giant right now. As all the other bank coins, people believe in more than Algorand right now. So I think that they're being overlooked. And I think in the next bull run, they're going to do what they did before and more. Multiple parabolic blast offs for Algorand in that last bull run, right? And I think this time there's going to be a lot more volatility in this coming massive bull run. If indeed it is the biggest bull run that we've ever seen, or bigger than the last one. And I do believe it will be bigger than the last one. I could be wrong, of course, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I believe it's going to be more volatility because this time people are going to take profit. They're not going to be sitting around and waiting. They're going to take profit. Even if they take profit and wait for the prices to go down, if they go down again. And I'm not just talking about Algorand. I'm talking about all of the coins. They're going to take profit because so a lot of people didn't do that before. And so then they lost all the gains that they made. And so they'll do that this time. And if it goes down, they'll get back in. There's been so many things that have happened since the last bull run, hardships, the likes of which nobody could have foreseen to come. Great hardships on the people. That's number one. Number two, a great deal of people have been lost, period. Whether people like it or not, because I've experienced it too. Great deal of people gone. It brings about that realization that tomorrow is not guaranteed. Memento mori. So people are going to say, well, wait, what am I waiting on? Let me take some of these profits. They're going to do it. There's going to be a wild volatility. The only way that there's going to be stability, which apparently it seems like a lot of people don't like stability at higher prices. Like, do people not like the gold gains right now? Do they not like gold being stabilized around $2,000? Because that's pretty damn good to me, in my humble opinion. But although there's a lot of pushback against stability, as soon as you say stability, for some reason, people just automatically interpret that to mean stable coin. Like a regular crypto cannot be a stable coin. There's always going to be minor volatility there. But, people don't want that. They want everything to be a rocket ship, up or down. But in order to have that type of stability, acceptable stability, which I'm all for, let it go to a higher price and stabilize there, any of these bank coins. It will have to come from the institutions. It will have to come from the big banks. It's not going to come from retail. Retail does not have enough stability on any level to bring about a higher price and stabilize it there. And a lot of activity you're seeing right now, like with Bitcoin, look at how much Bitcoin a lot of these so-called whales are who are buying. Who are these whales, right? That's the number one question. But the higher prices is coming from the whales buying, not the retail. And some people might say retail whale. Well, who's buying through these whales? And I'm pretty sure it's by proxy. A lot of it is by proxy, just like BlackRock. BlackRock has been buying by proxy. Everything is done by proxy. So a lot of these anonymous wallets buying huge amounts or, medium amounts of Bitcoin, things like that. It's a cumulative thing for like one company or for you get where I'm going with this. But that type of stability only comes through the big companies. There's going to be a lot of volatility if we're looking at mostly retail activity in the next bull run. Simple as that. That's how I look at it. All right. So I think it's good for people to just mentally prepare for that, just in case people go into it thinking like, oh, something's going to go up and it's going to stay there. And I would err on the side of caution with that thinking, because right now reality is showing you that no. Change is happening very, very quickly right now. And that volatility is going to come very quickly. If we're going to go by the minds of the people, every single day, I deal with people where their minds change in a day. They could be bullish on something one day. Oh, yeah, this thing is great. And then the next day, oh, it sucks. It's trash. I see this every single day. Right. So that means that people's minds and spirits, however you want to put that, they're in a state of flux. That's going to be reflected in everything that they do, including the markets. The markets are going to shift back and forth, just like the people do. The people are constantly on a hunt in a very nomadic way. They're desperate for capital. You can see it. You can see it. So they're going to go back and forth. That means that liquidity is going to go back and forth from this coin to that coin, from this asset to that asset. We see it happening all the time. So I say expect extreme volatility. And I think a lot of people are going to maximize their opportunity, and they're not going to take chances on losing their gains. All right. So now moving on. So now we have a little bit of XLM related news. And I say that because it's about Franklin Templeton. And we all know Franklin Templeton is heavily involved with Stellar. So when they speak about blockchain immediately, and I think rationally, I consider the possibility that they're thinking about Stellar. Even though they may reference other cryptos, they are thinking about Stellar because that's what they use, right? So this article here is titled, "Is Bitcoin ETF Only a First Step?" Let's read what they have to say. It says, at Fortune Global Forum, Franklin Templeton CEO Jenny Johnson discusses significant role of tokenization in the future of finance. All right, so more tokenization talk. We keep saying how big it's going to be. I can't wait. It says, At the Fortune Global Forum in Abu Dhabi, Jenny Johnson, president and CEO of Franklin Templeton, a firm managing $1.3 trillion in assets, stressed the significance of tokenization in the financial sector. If they're already using Stellar, what do you think that they're going to use heavily in order to involve themselves in tokenization? I would think Stellar would have to be at the top of that list. Somewhere near the top, if not the number one spot, right? So following their recent application for a Bitcoin ETF, Johnson's remarks signal a pivot toward the broader potential of blockchain technology, especially in democratizing private markets and enhancing transactional efficiency through tokenization. It says blockchain's role in democratizing markets. Johnson draws a clear line between Bitcoin and blockchain technology. So we're getting closer to that utility based era, right? Where the cryptos and the native assets are the ones running behind the scenes, right? And that definitely screams Stellar, in my humble opinion. It says, while acknowledging the demand for Bitcoin ETFs, her excitement lies in blockchain's potential to transform financial transactions once again. What are they using? Stellar. So what would they be primarily thinking about when referencing this? Stellar. Wisdom Tree, Franklin Templeton, United Nations, Stellar. So she explained how blockchain reduces cost and operational difficulties, making it easier to reduce costs. That's Stellar. And operational difficulties, making it easier to fractionalize ownership of assets that were previously challenging to process. This technological advancement could open up new asset classes and offer unique opportunities for Franklin Templeton's clients. Under Johnson's leadership, Franklin Templeton has been integrating blockchain into its business model. Which blockchain? You see how they keep it quiet? Why won't they just say Stellar? Can you tell me the reason? That doesn't seem a little bit shadowy to you. Like they try so hard in these articles to never say Stellar. They don't want Stellar getting any shine because they know if it gets some shine, if they talk about it enough, the price might go up. They deliberately try to not talk about it, keep that price down, so less people will know about it and what it's doing, what it's involved in, what Stellar Foundation is involved in. They all across the board keep Stellar so quiet. It's very annoying. It is. It's very annoying, and it can be very, very frustrating. But just check that out the whole time. So this is what they said. Franklin Templeton has been integrating blockchain into his business model, but they don't mention Stellar. The firm has developed a tokenized money market fund and is engaging in various blockchain-based projects, but they still don't say Stellar. Johnson outlined the benefits of blockchain, such as atomic settlement, which eliminates fraud risk and reduces latency, thereby enhancing the efficiency and transparency of financial operations. Most of that is done by Stellar. It says Johnson has acknowledged the uncertainty surrounding the approval of a first Bitcoin spot ETF. That I don't care about at all, not even a little bit. I think it's going to happen. And when it happens, it happens. I'm more interested in when they do ETFs for other things. Simple as that. Let's move on here. So another one of our winners here, right? Even though people don't talk about it very often, it's unbelievable. You know, that this is a winner that made big capital. It's unbelievable to me. I don't know. I'm loving it, though. This is from fxstreet.com, and it's titled Solana Price Eyes $70. $70. We were picking up Solana at like 17 bucks. Big bag Solana, 17 bucks. Now is eyeing $70. It says founder Anatoly Yakovenko bends narrative that Sol is an Ethereum killer. I don't care about it being an Ethereum killer. I just wanted to make money. That's it. Do a good job, make good partnerships. There's no need for comparison. This dichotomic thinking, I find it to be nonsensical and silly. And it's like, you know, listen, it's a YouTube channel. I get to talk a little bit. Some people act like, just read the article. It's like, that's not what we do here. No, that's not what we do. I'm going to talk a little bit, share a bit of my mind. But that dichotomic thinking, it plagues humanity in everything. It makes it hard to enjoy anything. People these days, they want to argue over everything. Somebody likes LeBron. Somebody likes Jordan. They argue over it. Somebody likes Tupac. Somebody likes Lil Baby. They're arguing over it. Somebody likes Ethereum. Somebody likes Solana. They arguing. It's like arguing everywhere. And I just don't come from that. I don't, man. I don't. I come from a place where you can find peace. You can find peace anywhere. Find peace sitting in the park. I come from a place where meditation is promoted. Right? Where focus is promoted, being the best, triple checking your work, doing research. That's how I was raised by my father, how my brother was raised too. As well, I mean, not two. Let me not say two as well. I come from a place of working hard, hitting the punching bag, boxing with my father, you know, going to wrestling practice, going to martial arts practice, taekwondo, whatever. Working hard, focusing. There was no debating. There was learning involved. You shut your mouth, you opened your ears, and you learned. That's what I come from. You know, it's just to see everything in the state that it's in. It just makes it very, very not fun. You know. So I'm not concerned. So when I read that kind of stuff, they inundate individuals like myself with this all the time. It's an Ethereum killer, this and that, and LeBron and Jordan. And I was like, oh my goodness, bro, just talk about one thing. Why does it all have to be an argument, a fight, a debate? I don't know, man. I feel like people deserve more spiritual peace, mental peace on earth than we're allotted, than we get. But to do that, it's very difficult to achieve such a state of peace when you exist in so much chaos. and the chaos is everywhere. How do you avoid? You can't avoid it 100%. Anyway, it says Solana founder Anatoly Yakovenko has urged his followers not to bring back the narrative that played during the past cycle. So Anatoly sort of feels like I do. It's not necessary. It says putting Sol against Ethereum, and there's no reason to do that. There's enough money for everybody. But let's see what he says. Saying, quote, "It is lame," unquote. The Solana executive, I would have been a little bit more eloquent, but I get where he's coming from. So the Solana executive envisions a future where the two ecosystems can coexist. They can. This tribalism across the globe is disgusting to me. Everybody wants to be a part of a group. This gang mentality that hasn't gotten anybody anywhere. It just rips everything down. It distracts the higher minded from reaching a higher level of existence. Either that or it separates the higher minded from society, because the only way you can reach another level, really, if society continues to be chaotic like that, is to separate it, for the higher minded to separate themselves from society in order to achieve the peace that allows them to grow in wisdom to reach a higher level. So then where does that leave the rest of society if all the higher minded have to separate from them? Then they are left with nothing but the chaotic and the downward minded. It is what it is. Take it how you want. You get what I'm saying? But let's keep going. It says Solana executive. That's how listen. Solana's doing great. That's the gist of the article, is eyeing $70. But at the end of my existence, depending on how long I live, I envision it just being in a place of peace, where I can meditate, exercise. There's lots of silence, not a lot of noise. I like to keep things simple. Maybe some combat. I'm going to stay sharp with combat. Simple as that. You have to be ready to protect yourself at all times, like my father taught me. So I'm going to stay good with combat, both my physical training as well as my weapons training. Let me make that clear for people, right? Because I think that people need both. Most people they're only practicing with these here. I've been practicing with those my entire life. I get it. Stay sharp. But I also, they used to teach us weapons training. That was standard. And I think so I'm gonna stay sharp with both of those and just ride out my days in peace. That's it. There's got to be something higher. I feel it deep within myself, but it's not achieved through these superficial pathways, and if you've been on the superficial pathways long enough, and that's like almost everything that people might consider worldly, and I don't mean that in any religious way, but like anything that is just, there's no depth to it. There's no depth to it. Like, I look at the last bull run to be the epitome of superficiality. People blew money on big houses. Okay. And that gets you what? Does that give you a family that loves you? Is that going to give you people that love you, that stay around you when you're older and such like that? Does that build good relationship? No. Lamborghinis. What is that? What does that get you? Something temporary. I'm not looking for anything temporary. You see what I'm saying? So like everything that's superficial has to be put to the side, in order to achieve the things that actually mean something, which is very, very difficult to go after. I'm after those things that are difficult, but that superficiality becomes boring. It's boring to me. The individuals like myself, it's boring. I value having a good conversation, a good intellectual conversation, not a debate, not an argument. I know how to shut up. When I'm around people and I feel like they have a great deal of wisdom, my mouth is closed. Maybe I'm involved in choosing a topic of discussion. Maybe once I glean that they have something I can absorb, my mouth is shut and I'm all ears. I let them talk as long as they want to. And usually wise people don't take up too much of your time. And I listen to them and I learn and I absorb and I grow. And I feel the growth. I feel like the information is nutritious. I like to be around people that's respectful, that respect, it feels like love, I like to be around people that promote the growth of others, They don't need anything. Just like I don't need anything from anybody, right? I'm going to go out there and hunt for it myself. But in that existence, we can interact and part ways, and it doesn't, and there's nothing parasitic about that relationship. That's another thing. Parasitic relationships is very draining when people feel like they always need something from it. They need something from it. Like, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Sure, it's very good to help, those who are in need. But what happens with the superficial parasitic is that it's not that they need help. They just want to feed off of individuals, whether it's your mind, your time, your things that you have. Like I said, I like to keep it simple. So tail into this life. And this is definitely connected to the new financial system, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you only have a little bit of capital or you have a few million. Because of the way the world works, you're still going to have to involve yourself heavily with the world. You need generational wealth in order to be able to slide back, sit back, not really have to do much, but seek after the path of wisdom. That's what you need. You need generational wealth to do that. The ultimate path to wisdom, the ultimate path of peace. That's what generational wealth, I think, really could lead to. Others have their own reasons. I'm just putting out something I think is a significant reason. A higher level to remove all superficialities. That sounds funny that you're using a superficiality like fiat currency to remove a superficiality. But in life, unfortunately, it seems like you have to use law against law. You have to bend law with law, right? Something that is inevitable, for lack of a better word. You use an inevitability to bend an inevitability. You get what I'm saying? So you use the fiat currency to bend or remove the other inevitability that you're going to have to deal with, which is the superficialities of life. And you have to watch out for the pitfall, of course, where you don't let that superficiality of coming into a lot of capital draw you deeper into superficiality, distraction, all the problems that come with it. But I think wise people easily avoid that pitfall. So I don't know. I just gave you a bunch of thoughts, but why not? Why not? Who knows what tomorrow brings? So why not give you some of me today? So I had a lot of other articles. We'll do those another time. Appreciate every single one of you being here. So now that you have this information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to process this video. I'm going to go show some people some love. I'm going to enjoy my free time once I get a little bit later on. I hope you will as well. So until the next time, let's get to the money.